What is up, everybody? The Real Tranking Productions 2025 back again, here for a brand new and very special unboxing video. In my last video, I did an unboxing and first look at the brand new for 2025 Trackmaster 3.0 James, and compared this new model of James to the older Trackmaster Talking Interactive James. And a lot of you guys really love that video, and I'm really glad that it did extremely well. And so to conclude the classic Trackmaster 3.0 engines lineup, in today's video, I'm going to be unboxing and taking a first look at the brand new for 2025 Trackmaster 3.0 Flying Scotsman. Now, I am very excited to be unboxing this model, you guys, because this model was one of those models I was very excited about once it was first announced. So before we begin, I do have a couple of important announcements to make. Since we're at the middle of July, at the end of this month, I will be unboxing the Ruby Thomas. I know I mentioned it before, because I know a while ago I did a poll asking you guys which Thomas I should unbox for you guys from the Metal Collection lineup. And the Ruby Thomas won. The thing is, since my dad pre-ordered it, it's on pre-order. So it's going to be arriving the end of this month into early August. But don't worry, you guys, the unboxing video is still going to be coming out. And as for the Metal Collection James and Storybook Thomas, that unboxing video is on the back burner right now, mainly because it's just been hard for me to find the Metal Collection James and the Storybook Thomas. So yeah, I hope you guys understand that. I do plan though to have those the Metal Collection James and Thomas video out by August. So I hope you guys understand the delay of me trying to find the Metal Collection 80th anniversary James and the Storybook Thomas. But yeah, and also I will be uploading more theme park content this week, but also since this has been a thing that's been on my mind for a long time, I am going to be re-uploading some of my older videos, mainly for fan service wise, where it all started to where we are today. So I hope you guys understand that. Now, with all those announcements out of the way, let's get into what you guys have all been waiting for. Unboxing and taking... sorry about that, you guys. I stutter sometimes. Unboxing and taking a first look at the brand new for 2025 Flying Scotsman. Now, before we do unbox this, we're going to be comparing this Flying Scotsman to this one. Now, this is the older Trackmaster 2 Flying Scotsman. One of my friends actually gave it to me. So we'll be comparing this in the video to this Scotsman. And we're going to see which one is the best. Or which one is better, honestly. But yeah, just like with the previous Trackmaster unboxings, I'm going to be going over what I like and don't like about the model. So, yeah. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's take a look at this model together. So, just like with the previous Trackmaster 3.0 boxes, it's pretty much the same. You have the Thomas and Friends logo on the side, which does look very nice. You also have the 80th anniversary logo. And of course, classic Flying Scotsman. Now, the reason why I believe Flying Scotsman is part of the classic engines lineup is mainly because of mainly my guess wise is that he was Gordon's brother, and I think it's a nice addition to include him because the last Flying Scotsman we got was in 2016 as part of the Great Race. So yeah, overall though, the box itself is pretty much the same. You have the barcode with Thomas along with the 3+. In addition, the motorized on the side. And then at the back of the box, you have Flying Scotsman, a CGI render of him, which I have to say, it does look very, very nice. And then, just like with the other engines, the top of the box is pretty much the same. The Thomas & Friends logo, the beautiful 80th anniversary logo, which looks very crisp, and another CGI render of Flying Scotsman. And just like with the previous rendering, which is right here, it's nearly identical. I feel this is a what would Flying Scotsman look like if he did appear in the nitrogen era. A what if CGI render. Overall though, it does look very, very nice. And it's pretty much the same stuff at the back of the box. Now, just like with James, James's packaging, the packaging itself for the most part does look nice, but my huge issue is it doesn't have a collect them all on the back. Something that some of the original Trackmaster 2 models did have. Like, oh, collect them all. Collect Gordon, collect James, collect Thomas. You get what I'm saying. But yeah, that's just my small little nitpick with the box. Now with that aside, let's get into what you guys have all been waiting for. Opening this bad boy up. So just like with the other engines, I'm going to be extremely careful taking Scotsman out of the box. Now, this is very important if you are ever going to be getting any form of Thomas models. You have to be extremely careful taking the model out of the packaging. That way it doesn't damage the unit. Gonna move this aside. Alright, we got Scotsman out of the main compartment of the box. I'm gonna be extremely careful taking the tape off. That way we can get the unit out more carefully. We're going to do Scotsman first. Ooh, he's a little heavy. There's Scotsman. Very, very nice. And his two tenders. His cold tender. And his water tender. Which all look very, very nice. Let's get into the main star of the attraction himself. Flying Scotsman. And I have to say, holding this model in my hand, he is a very, very nicely detailed Trackmaster 3.0 model. The green, it's very crisp. It definitely kind of reminds you of how he was in the Great Race, which is a very, very nice color detail there. I also really like the little Flying Scotsman emblem on his wheel arch, which is very nice. His cab is nearly identical to Gordon's. And of course, just like with Gordon, he has a cylinder detailing right here, which is a nice touch. The black pinstriping is very nice, as is the wheels and his dome. But the thing I like most about the Flying Scotsman model is the face. His face, I really like the amount of detailing they gave him. That little smirking kind of face, where he's like saying, "Hello, little brother," to Gordon, which is a very, very nice touch. I also like his deflectors here, and of course the buffer detailing. Again, just like with most of these Trackmaster 3.0 models, there can't be a positive without a negative. One of my huge negatives with these newer models is just that they're a little too big. I understand why though. They are mainly designed for bigger Trackmaster 3.0 layouts. But yeah, overall though, with that small little nitpick aside, Flying Scotsman himself is very, very nice, including those brand new side rods they gave him. I also like the green that they chose. It's very reflective of how he is in the Great Race. So Flying Scotsman himself, very nice. Let's now take a look at his tenders. So, looking at his tenders more closely, they do look very, very nice. And honestly, they look very accurate to how he was in the Great Race. The green itself is very reflective, including the L and ER, and the bolts on here, which I believe are a nod to how Flying Scotsman was in Big World, Big Adventures, the movie. Which I can understand why they did this, of course, adding the bolts on the model. The green itself is very nice, and of course the 4472 and the other details are very nice, including the coal load. But again, just like with Flying Scotsman, my huge nitpick with the tenders is just how kind of smaller they are to Scotsman. Here's what I mean. They look kind of puny next to Scotsman, but I could understand why they did this. It's mainly because Flying Scotsman can manage tighter radius curves. Plus, if you want, you could actually add these tenders to the older Flying Scotsman, even though it won't look super nice. I'll just do an example here. Yeah, the color difference is very noticeable. I just thought I'd do that as an example for you guys. But yeah, the tenders themselves are very nice. I do like the green, and also they're about the same size as Gordon and James. Here's an example. Let me get James's tender real quick. So here's James's tender. You could tell they're almost the same size. They're almost the same size in length. Still though, they do look very nice. And when I first heard that Scotsman was announced during December of last year, I was honestly very excited because we haven't had a brand new Trackmaster Flying Scotsman since 2016. But overall though, I'm not trying to sound like a broken record, but these tenders though are very, very nice. Now, on to the moment you've all been waiting for. Comparing this Flying Scotsman to the Trackmaster 2.0 Flying Scotsman from 2016. Now, just like with the other engines, the size difference is very noticeable. The older Flying Scotsman is slightly smaller, but has a more bright green coat that's more reflective of, kind of similar of Percy's. The newer Flying Scotsman has that more forest green / Christmas green, which is a very, very nice color difference. The other big difference is in the face. The newer Flying Scotsman has that more smirking kind of face, like he's teasing Gordon, saying, "Hello, little brother." The original Flying Scotsman from 2016 has that more of a, "What? Hey, little brother, pulling trucks again, are we?" kind of face. A more cheekier, smirking kind of face. Both of these models do share in common the painted buffers, although I actually did paint the buffers on this model. But yeah, their buffers are painted on each, which is very, very nice. And also their side rods are very different too. The newer Flying Scotsman has that more very show accurate side rods, whereas the original has the standard Trackmaster 2 side rods. And also, on the old Flying Scotsman, you could still see Flying Scotsman on the side of the wheel arch, but it's a little smaller. Mainly because of how the size difference is on the Flying Scotsman in Trackmaster 2. As for the newer Flying Scotsman, you could see it a lot better. The 4472 is slightly smaller on the original, and it's a lot bigger on the new one. Between these two Flying Scotsmans, which one do you guys prefer? The new one or the original? Let me know in the comment section below, because to be honest you guys, I like both of them equally. I may not have the tenders of the original, but I do like the amount of detailing that is put onto the onto the original one. Not to mention too, it was used in the Thomas Creator Collective, which is a nice touch. As for the newer one, I like the overall look of this model. Not to mention I really like the face. Like, on a Trackmaster 3.0 layout, you could probably have him next to Gordon pulling some trucks and him just smirking. But yeah, both of these models though are very, very nice in their own way. If you want to have the original Flying Scotsman on a Trackmaster layout, this one is the right one. And of course on Trackmaster 3, you could use this one. You guys pretty much get what I'm saying. But both these models are great in their own way. Now for the in conclusion. What do I think of the brand new for 2025 Flying Scotsman? Now, honestly, this is without a doubt one of the best Trackmaster 3.0 models in the 80th anniversary line. Ever since Christmas of last year, when I first heard that they were going to be making Flying Scotsman as part of this line, I was super excited. Because it's been so long since we actually got a new Flying Scotsman model, as I stated before. And despite my small criticisms with the model, like the size and how there's like a little gap between the tenders and the model itself, it's a overall very good model indeed. And if you're a big Flying Scotsman fan like myself, I highly recommend picking this model up. I'm going to be giving this brand new Flying Scotsman an 8 out of 10 with a 4 out of 5 stars. It's that good of a model. It's not the best Trackmaster 3.0 model, but it's one of the good ones indeed. In fact, Scotsman and Thomas are my two favorite models in this 80th anniversary lineup. Thomas because of how very accurate they made our #1 blue tank engine, and Scotsman because we haven't seen a model like this in so long. But yeah, this is a very, very good model. And I think I'm definitely during Christmas time going to be running Flying Scotsman underneath my Trackmaster Christmas tree. Anyways, but yeah, this is a very, very good model of Scotsman. What do you guys think about this new for 2025 Trackmaster Flying Scotsman? Let me know in the comment section below. Well, anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing and first look at the brand new for 2025 Flying Scotsman, Gordon's brother. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Thomas the Tank Engine videos just like this. Well, this has been the Real Training Productions 2025 signing off, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this video on the brand new Flying Scotsman. Bye-bye!